Throughout history, humanity has experienced numerous conflicts and wars, each causing immense destruction and loss of life. However, some wars stand out as the deadliest in human history, causing unimaginable devastation and leaving behind a legacy of sorrow and pain. In this video, we will explore the top 10 deadliest wars in human history, their causes, and the impact they had on the world. World War I, 1914 to 1918. World War I was fought between the Allied powers, led by France, Russia, and the United Kingdom, and the Central Powers, led by Germany, Austria to Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The war claimed the lives of an estimated 17 million people, including soldiers and civilians. The conflict began as a result of the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria to Hungary and resulted in the downfall of several empires. The use of chemical weapons was a major feature of World War I, with both sides using poisonous gas to incapacitate, injure, and kill enemy soldiers. The most commonly used gas was chlorine, which caused choking, vomiting, and even death. The use of gas led to the development of gas masks and other protective equipment. World War II, 1939 to 1945. With a death toll estimated at 60 million people, World War II is the deadliest conflict in human history. It was fought between two major alliances, the Allies and the Axis powers, and involved almost every country in the world. The war was triggered by the aggressive, expansionist policies of Nazi Germany, and its aftermath saw the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, causing immense destruction and loss of life. This marked the first and only time nuclear weapons were used in warfare and had a significant impact on global politics and military strategy. The bombings contributed to Japan's surrender and the end of the war, but also raised ethical and moral questions about the use of such weapons. Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 1864. The Taiping Rebellion was a civil war in China that resulted in the deaths of approximately 20 million people. The rebellion was led by a Christian convert named Hong Ixuquan, who proclaimed himself the younger brother of Jesus Christ and aimed to overthrow the ruling Qing dynasty. The rebellion was eventually suppressed with the help of foreign powers. The Taiping Rebellion was one of the largest and bloodiest civil wars in world history, lasting for 14 years. In addition to its religious overtones, the rebellion was fueled by economic and social grievances such as widespread poverty, corruption, and inequality. Hong Ixuquan's Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, which he established during the rebellion, was one of the largest and most ambitious attempts at social and political reform in Chinese history. Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937 to 1945. The Second Sino-Japanese War was a conflict between China and Japan that resulted in the deaths of an estimated 20 million people. The war began with the Marco Polo Bridge incident and escalated into a full-scale invasion of China by Japan. The conflict was part of World War I and ended with Japan's surrender. The Imperial Japanese Army reportedly used mustard gas, phosgene, and other chemical agents against Chinese troops and civilians, causing widespread suffering and death. This was one of the first instances of large-scale use of chemical weapons in modern warfare and resulted in a ban on their use under international law. Mongol Conquests, 1206 to 1337. The Mongol Conquests were a series of military campaigns launched by the Mongol Empire, which resulted in the deaths of an estimated 40 million people. The campaigns were led by Genghis Khan and his successors, who conquered vast territories in Asia and Europe, including China, Russia, and parts of the Middle East. In addition to the vast territorial conquests, the Mongol conquests also had significant cultural and economic impacts. The establishment of the Mongol Empire facilitated greater trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road, and the creation of a unified Mongol state brought stability to the regions under its control. 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. The 30 Years' War was a religious conflict in Europe that resulted in the deaths of an estimated 8 million people. The war began as a result of the Protestant Reformation and involved several European powers, including the Holy Roman Empire, France, and Sweden. The conflict ended with the Peace of Westphalia, which established the principle of state sovereignty. Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. The Napoleonic Wars were a series of conflicts fought between France and various European powers, including the United Kingdom, Austria, and Russia. The wars resulted in the deaths of an estimated 6 million people and marked the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte as a military and political leader. The wars ended with Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Waterloo and Lucian Rebellion, 755 to 763. The Lucian Rebellion was a civil war in China that resulted in the deaths of an estimated 36 million people. The rebellion was led by a general named Lucian, who sought to overthrow the Tang dynasty. The conflict weakened the Tang dynasty and contributed to its eventual collapse. Second Congo War, 1998 to 2003. The Second Congo War was a conflict in Africa that resulted in the deaths of an estimated 5.4 million people, making it the deadliest war in Africa's history. The war involved multiple countries and rebel groups, including Rwanda, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The conflict was fueled by ethnic tensions, resource exploitation, and political instability, and resulted in widespread violence, displacement, and human rights abuses. Korean War, 1950 to 1953. The Korean War was a conflict between North Korea, backed by China and the Soviet Union, and South Korea, supported by the United States and its allies. The war resulted in the deaths of an estimated 2.5 million people, including soldiers and civilians. The conflict began with the North Korean invasion of South Korea and ended with an armistice agreement that established the demilitarized zone between the two countries. The human cost of war is immeasurable, and the top 10 deadliest wars in human history serve as a somber reminder of the consequences of conflict. It is essential to remember the sacrifices made by those who fought and died in these wars, and work towards preventing future conflicts. Please like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more informative content like this.